It was a Christmas Eve unlike any other in Fayetteville, West Virginia, 1945. The Sodder family, a hard-working, tight-knit group of Italian immigrants, had gathered to celebrate the holiday in their modest home. But as their joyous evening turned into a cold December night, tragedy struck in ways no one could have ever imagined. The Sodders' house erupted in flames, and by dawn, 5 of their 9 children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, had seemingly vanished into thin air. What really happened to the Sodder siblings? It's a mystery that has haunted the family and baffled investigators for nearly 8 decades. Join us today as we dive deep into this chilling unsolved case, one filled with strange events, unanswered questions, and theories that range from heartbreaking to outright bizarre. Let's start with the events surrounding the fire. The blaze began sometime after midnight, while most of the family was asleep. George and Jenny Sodder, the parents, managed to escape along with 4 of their children. But the 5 younger siblings, sleeping in the attic, were nowhere to be found. George tried desperately to save them, breaking windows, searching for his ladder, even attempting to use his truck to climb to the attic. But every effort was thwarted. The flames consumed the home, and by morning it was reduced to ashes. Initially, the assumption was tragic but straightforward. The children had perished in the fire. But soon details emerged that turned this simple explanation on its head. Investigators found no trace of human remains in the debris, no bones, no teeth, nothing that would indicate the presence of 5 bodies. For George and Jenny, this was the first sign that something was terribly amiss. Then, the oddities began piling up. The phone lines to the house had been mysteriously cut before the fire started. A strange passerby had been seen tossing something onto the roof, which later turned out to be a small, unexploded device. And the family car, a potential lifeline for George to save his kids, had inexplicably refused to start. But perhaps most unsettling were the events leading up to the fire. Jenny recalled receiving a strange phone call earlier in the evening. A woman asking for someone Jenny didn't know, followed by laughter and other voices in the background. Meanwhile, George had noticed 2 men parked on the highway near the house just days before, watching his family's movements. These details, while eerie, were hardly enough to piece together the story. Then came the sightings. In the months following the fire, reports began pouring in. People claimed to have seen the missing Sodder children, in diners, in hotels, and even as part of another family entirely. One woman swore she served breakfast to the children at her restaurant, while another recalled seeing them at a boarding house hundreds of miles away. Years later, the Sodder family received what may be the most chilling clue of all. Jenny found a photograph in the mail, a picture of a young man with features strikingly similar to her missing son Louis. Written on the back were cryptic words, "Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie, Elil boys, A90132 or 35. The family hired private investigators to track down the sender, but they were never able to locate them. So, what are the theories? The first and official investigation concluded that the children died in the fire, but for many, the lack of remains makes this explanation difficult to accept. The search for answers continues, as the mystery of the Sodder children remains unsolved, leaving questions that echo through the decades. Another theory posits that the children were kidnapped by someone with a vendetta against George. As a businessman and outspoken critic of Benito Mussolini, George had made enemies within the Italian-American community, and some believe the fire was an act of retaliation. Others suggest the children may have survived and started new lives elsewhere, willingly or under duress. Could they have been sold into adoption, trafficked, or perhaps taken by someone who genuinely believed they were rescuing them from harm? The mystery remains, with each theory more chilling and perplexing than the last. Then there's the darker theory, conspiracy. Allegations have surfaced over the years pointing to connections between local authorities and organized crime. Could a cover-up have been at play? Despite exhaustive searches, countless letters, and even erecting a billboard on Route 16 to keep the case alive, George and Jenny Sodder never found the answers they were seeking. George passed away in 1969, and Jenny followed in 1989, taking this heartbreaking mystery to their graves. But their surviving children have carried the torch, continuing the search and keeping the story alive. To this day, the Sodder fire remains one of America's most compelling unsolved mysteries. Was it a tragic accident, a calculated act of foul play, or something else entirely? As we reflect on the evidence, one thing becomes clear. This family's story deserves to be remembered. What do you think happened to the Sodder siblings? Were they victims of a tragic fire, or did something far more sinister take place that night? Let us know your theories in the comments. And be sure to subscribe for more true crime and unsolved mysteries that will keep you questioning the world around you.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments.